I am a mother of a 12-year-old little girl. I'm a daughter, a sister, and a friend. In 2016, I felt a lump in my breast in the right side, and I called my primary care physician, and they told me because I wasn't seen within 3 years, I hadn't been sick, I'd be considered a new patient, and the waiting period was like 3 months. So I called my gynecologist, and he had me come in that day, and he felt the lump. He didn't like what he felt, said it shouldn't be there. I'm going to send you for a mammogram, and then I'm going to send you to a surgeon. I can clearly remember the nurse telling me, people don't die of breast cancer anymore. If you're going to get a cancer, breast cancer is the one you want. And then they did the needle biopsy, came back stage 3. I was 39 when I was diagnosed. They started me on chemo within a week. I met with Dr. Alicia Detralia, she's my oncologist. Then they sent me for my first PET scan. And in the PET scan showed 3 spots on my liver, which automatically makes me stage 4. It was all the way up my arm into my lymph nodes. You couldn't see my collarbone. I mean, I was a swollen mess. So they had to do chemo first to shrink everything down. And then chemo ended in June of 2016. And I had a double mastectomy August 31st of 2016. In March of 2017, I found two brain tumors. I woke up one morning and it was like looking through a kaleidoscope. And I called the oncologist on call. I said, oh, just take it easy, drink a lot of fluids, your labs have been good, no big deal. Your tumor markers haven't changed. Just give it, if it's still bad on Sunday, give us a call. And I went in on Sunday to the ER. They did a CT scan, and they found 1 tumor behind my left eye, pushing up again. That's why I couldn't see. And then they did a CT with contrast, and they found another one on this side. I was told that after a year being out after having the mastectomy, that I could have the tran flap, which would give me like a tummy tuck, and it would be my own skin tissue. But then when they found it in my liver and then my brain, they said I could never have reconstruction because by the time they found it, it would be into my breastbone. They cut the whole front of my body off of me. It messes with your self-esteem. My breasts were kind of large. So they were a big part of how I dressed. I had to redo my whole wardrobe. The V-necks went down to my belly button, and it was just amputation. It was once they took those bandages off, and I looked down, and I felt like a monster with my drains coming out. But yeah, that was the hardest part, was the actual amputation of the whole front of my body at age 39. I've lost it a couple of times where I've gone into a bathroom or, gone in my bedroom and closed the door and just, when nobody's home and just screamed, why me? I've had the breakdowns. Everybody has to have the breakdown. If you don't have a breakdown when you're told you have stage 4 cancer, something's wrong with you. You will have your breakdown. It happens. And you move forward. You pick yourself off that bathroom floor, you dry your eyes, and you walk back out with your chin up because you're still alive. Every day is a gift. Xanax helps a lot, but I try not to think about it. I just keep myself busy, and I try not to think about it as much as possible. Mentally, I've always been a very stable person. I have an excellent sense of humor, very sarcastic, which is I still am, but I do take medicine for anxiety because it's like, I call it scan-anxiety because it's going from scan to scan. And I feel like a human pincushion every time they access my port. My port will never come out of my chest. It's placed there to the day I die. My daughter's actually writing about her perspective. She started writing like a little journal about what cancer means to her. After I found out what it was, my mother and I sat her down. We took her out to lunch. She was 10 at the time. Asked her if she knew what cancer was, and she said, yeah, it kills people. And I said, well, no, baby, it doesn't always kill people. And she looked at me and she goes, you have cancer. And I said, you're right, I do. And she didn't cry. She tried to keep it together. We have promised her from day one we would never lie about anything. She went to an oncology appointment with me. She watched me get chemo. She watched my hair fall out. She helped me shave my head. I think it's made her more mature on one level, and we've had doctors tell her over and over again, your mom doesn't carry a gene where you're gonna get it. Just enjoy the time you have with your mother. So, and I think we've finally gotten to that point, but she was shaken to the core. She used to be this goofy, loving girl that would run around and sing and dance, and now she hears me cough and she comes running. Oh my God, are you okay? It's made her grow up way too fast. She lost her childhood. And for that, I feel horrible. But it's not me, it's cancer. Which is, again, why I say cancer, because it has screwed up my entire life. Pretty much planned out my funeral, and it should be a good party. So at age 42, you shouldn't have to do that, but with my sense of humor, I'm going to make it a good time. Nothing else you can do. I do believe in God. I was raised Catholic, and I used to go to church before school with my grandmother in the basement of the church. I was one of the first altar girls allowed in New York State. She fought to get me on because I wanted to do it. I have a very, very strong belief in God. I think I was given it for a reason, to strengthen my family. But am I angry at God? No. No, He didn't do this to me. He's helping me get through it. My entire immediate family, we're all within, I think, 12 miles of each other. And my mother and my aunt have come to every single chemo treatment with me. They have not let me go through any of alone. And they ask questions. They talk to the other patients to see what to expect. My father's angry. I mean, that's his response when I told him I had cancer. He goes, well, what the are you going to do now? And I looked him down the eye and I said, whatever the doctor tells me to do. And you can't get mad at me. He's mad because he can't fix it. It's changed our family dynamic, the way that we interact. I mean, my mother has been there to every appointment with me. And she has watched her daughter get poked and prodded, and she'll sit there and she'll cry. And the one time that I cried was when they wheeled me in for my double mastectomy. That's when it hit me, that holy shit, this is real. The losing my hair, I didn't care. None of that bothered me. It was summertime, but it was actually going in to be amputated is what got me. It's the one and only time I've cried. Oh my goodness, my mother says it to me all the time. She's like, you gotta stop going on these Facebook groups. I'm like, you have no idea. I can ask a question and 20 people answer me and they all know what I'm going through. I can't ask you the question, you don't know what I'm going through. It's a whole different world. And I've made a lot of friends from it. I mean, you have to talk to somebody who's gone through it to understand it. And if you haven't gone through it, you don't get it. You can feel my pain, but you don't get it. It's too hard to understand unless you've walked in my shoes. I didn't cry when they told me it was in my head. I laughed hysterically. 2.5 weeks in the hospital, I don't remember any of it. I just remember having 24 staples in my head and my head being shaved. Cancer to me is just scars. That's what it is to me. It scars not only on your body, it scars on your soul. It changes who you are. I mean, I have people look at me now like, oh my goodness, she's dying. I'm not dying. I am fighting my ass off to not die. Do I take a bunch of medication? Absolutely. But it's maintaining my quality of life. Because of the brain tumors, I slur my speech, I drool, can't feel my fingertips, can't feel my toes from the maintenance chemo. You only know what it's like if you have it. I cry when I look in the mirror to this day, because there's nothing there. They have taken my whole feminine perspective away from me. You know, they take out your uterus, they take off your breasts, and I look like a little boy. I don't wear makeup, typically. I do now only because I am paler than a ghost because of all of the chemo, and it makes me feel like a woman. Where before I never wore it, my breasts made me feel like a woman because I had nice tops to wear. You know, I mean, I'm a small person, so it balanced out a bit. winded walking from the car to the house. My balance is off. My speech is slurred, which you're probably going to see in this recording. But it changes everything. But the amputation is the biggest thing, and then the femininity is the second. I mean, I don't feel like a woman anymore. This is my tattoo. I had them do it in orange instead of pink to match my Celtic over here because of my Irish heritage. And it's the beeping of a heartbeat, and it says love. And that is for my daughter. This is her handwriting that says, I love you more, and that's something we say to each other every day. I have said it to her since birth. I refuse to get the color pink put on my body because breast cancer is not pink. It's black. It's a dark hole. My treatment will never be over, which is why I always say the pink ribbon, the awareness, everybody knows it's there. I am worth more than 4%. I have a daughter to raise. The funding is going to the wrong places. You buy a pink bracelet, it's going into making more pink bracelets. You buy a pin, it's going into making more pins. It's not going towards research. They research the ones who will survive. Stage 0, stage 1, and possible stage 2. And that's what they advertise. Nobody ever talks about stage 4. And I never knew what a stage of cancer was until I got it and started researching. People should be outraged that 114 people die a day. That's more than an elementary school. A day. And it's frustrating that nobody sees that. And it breaks my heart that my life is not worth the research. That's where you need to start focusing on now. You've already fixed the up to 2. You can cure them. They can go into remission. I can never, ever ring a bell that says I'm in remission. I don't get that privilege. I can be in NED, no evidence of disease, but I will never be in remission. I will have cancer the rest of my life. I'm 42 years old right now, and somebody else is going to raise my daughter. You have to keep the faith, you have to keep joking, you have to just not let it consume your everyday being. But for somebody recently diagnosed, do the research, be comfortable with your doctors, and if you're not comfortable, voice your opinion and say you're not comfortable. And go for a second opinion. I didn't want to insult my doctor by going for a second opinion the first time. The second time, she came into my room, my hospital room, and said, I already lined up an appointment. I want you to have a second opinion. I want to make sure I'm doing the right protocol for you. And she was. And I'm glad I went. I mean, she knows what she's doing, but she also knew when it got out of her hands where to place me. So I'm in good hands. I mean, they've all saved me so far. I saw something on Facebook in one of the cancer groups that I'm in, and I had contacted you, I think via email, that I wanted to be part of the anonymous shot, pictures. And then just talking to my friends, they're like, you should not be anonymous. You need to get your voice out there and let these people know that it happens to young people. The nude shot didn't bother me a bit. It was actually when I had my overalls on, and I couldn't believe that I was part of such a fantastic project that's going to raise awareness for this. And going into the opening reception was very emotional, seeing the quote on the wall about my daughter saying how she wants to be an oncologist because of all this, so no other little girl has to lose their mommy. I mean, it was very emotional to see the nude shots, and then my other shot, which I love. I mean, it's just done beautifully. My goal in this whole thing is to make sure people are aware of stage 3 and 4. Yeah, cancer's pink to those who can say that they're a survivor. I can't say I'm a survivor. I'm living with. I'm not surviving. I'm living with.